I think that RE needs to be creative and experiential, because what we're teaching children about is creative and experiential. So it's important that children can have those real-life experiences so that they can actually truly understand perhaps how an artefact or a situation or an experience is significant to a member of a particular faith group. The children have been learning about the concept devotion. So this lesson is going to give them an opportunity to be enrolled as archaeologists, to explore Hindu artefacts, focusing on Shiva. So I've made sure there's a couple of artefacts per table, and we've also prepared a few extra goodies to try and help them get into role as archaeologists. I think they're going to be excited. I'm going to have to calm them down, make sure they're not all squabbling over the artefacts, but they're going to want to find out what's hidden in the parcels. I've got this huge case. It arrived yesterday lunchtime, and it's got our school name on it. Oh my goodness, it's so heavy. Now, do you think we should open the box? Yes. Yeah, I think we should open the box. Right then, okay. 1, 2, 3. Right. I'm going to read the note that's attached here. It says, "Dear Class 4MW, I have heard that you are really fantastic at speculating on artefacts. Could you please speculate on the artefacts using some special tools that I've sent you and send me back your responses? Signed, Professor McGonagall." We are going to be pretend archaeologists. I think an archaeologist on a dig would wear it just around there. They could put it over their mouth then if it gets all dusty.
Brushes to get so you don't like hurt the things that you find. So you brush off all the dust with it. Yeah.
I think the key is to think that every child has a part to play in the activity. So I make sure that the children each have something to do and they feel that's important.
It's definitely old, isn't it? It's old because you can see like it's got a little bit damaged.
Yeah.
Now I could just perhaps show them some images of Shiva and we could talk through the symbolism, I could provide them lots and lots of knowledge. But I want them to have an enriched experience so that they can feel they're involved with their learning. Tom, just tell me one thing. Describe something about this image.
The snake around Shiva.
So we've got the snake around Shiva. I want you to now think about perhaps what that one observation tells you. What does it tell you about Shiva?
He's brave.
Oh, that's interesting. Why does the snake tell you that Shiva's brave?
It's a cobra, and cobras bite, and she's got to be pretty brave to have it wrapped around her neck and stuff.
I think that's an excellent response, Lewis. The children really enjoyed the archaeological role play because it was a little bit different. And I think that giving them the opportunity to speculate and answer higher order thinking questions gave them ownership over their learning. And as I said to them, there's no right or wrong answers when you're speculating. So every child, regardless of ability, was able to participate in that experiential learning.
I like discovering it and seeing what it was and describing it on the piece of paper that we had. I liked when when Callum wrapped it because it was really really scary because you thought there might be a bomb in it or something.
You can do it and actually look at it close up, not just like from the front of the classroom.
Well, it's not the normal way because the normal way is really sitting down, writing, no talking, and when you like to actually get involved in it and you can actually speculate and find out stuff about it.
We don't really get to do that every day.
I really enjoy having role play with the whole year group. There are 90 children, but if it's managed appropriately, that's not a problem. I think also keeping it real and keeping it within your facilities. If, for example, you haven't got glamorous artefacts, then you can make do. I think we had some curtains, actually, on one side of our shrine today. If you are concerned how to set up a role play, consult someone who might actually be able to help you and just check that what you're doing is actually okay. We feel it's really important that children have some sort of costume just to remind them that they're in role, and explaining to the children that what they're participating in isn't an exact model of what might happen in a Hindu temple, but you're providing a similar experience. Namaste. Namaste. I'm Georgie, ma'am. Welcome to my Hindu temple, and we've invited you here today so that you can take part in the Hindu Aarti ceremony, puja, Hindu worship. I want Lord Shiva to know that we're here in the temple. Can anybody see anything here that we might be able to use to let him know that we're here and that we're ready to show our devotion? We could ring the bell. So, you're going to be using the bell. So in role as a Hindu, you can let Shiva know that you're here, ready to worship and show devotion. We're also going to be giving Shiva a gift. Now, you may remember the story about Labdaka, who got trapped in a tree because a vicious tiger wanted to come and try and eat him. So to remember Labdaka in that story and how he showed devotion, you're going to offer Shiva a leaf. We've got here the light shining close to Shiva, and by taking the light to our eyes, we're trying to get closer to Shiva to try and see Lord Shiva. I think, Celia ma'am, shall we show people how we show our devotion to Lord Shiva, and then you can copy us. Religion can be a sensitive subject, and if our children are going to be involved within enriched learning, then we need to make sure that our parents understand what that learning is. Then they'll be prepared for them to participate in those activities, regardless of their own religious or cultural background. I think the role play was really successful. You could see they were clearly engaged because they wanted to come forward, and they were very anxious sometimes to actually take the bell. That level of confidence is also a level of excitement, which is really enjoyable as a teacher to observe. Now, what I need you to do, very sensibly and quietly, I want you to take your headscarf off to remind us that we're now coming out of role. Their questioning at the end was really very profound in some places, so clearly that thought process was also continuing after the role play. Sometimes you actually want to do something, so you can tell. There was one question that really made me stop and think.
How do we know that Shiva exists?
Oh, that's a really good question. Hindus believe that there is a God, and Hindus believe that that God can create and destroy. So when you enroll as a Hindu, those Hindus believe that. Okay? So you now, as you're going to have to think about who you are and perhaps what you want to believe in. I tried to provide a response and wasn't closed, and I wasn't scared of actually giving that response. It's okay as a teacher perhaps to say, I can't answer that, I'm not sure, but let's go and find out how we can answer that question.
I found out two things. One was in the chant they just keep repeating the same sentence, and as well I didn't know Namaste was a greeting. I just thought it was one of their funny words which they say.
I never knew that one person could put as much devotion into a Hindu put so much devotion into looking after Shiva, washing the temple and everything, worshipping him.
I liked dressing up because you get to go off and actually be Hindus. You don't just pretend you're them, but you get to do everything that they do, not just learn about it.
If you've done it yourself, you remember more because you've done it, not the teacher just telling you it. So I think you take in more.
And as it's more fun, you'll remember it more. Because if you do something fun, then you'll remember it. But if it's boring, then you forget it.
I'm going to tell you an element, a part of the celebration that you're going to role play, and then you're going to do a still image, if you like. And we're going to have to guess which part you're actually role playing. The children participate in freeze framing or still imaging. During this stage, we're actually evaluating what had happened in the hall. So they clearly had remembered elements of the arty ceremony. 1, 2, 3.
Sam and James are Shiva, and Megan and Gracie are Ring the Bell.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well done. RE is one area that perhaps people lack confidence in. How do you perhaps have an understanding of a specific religion? They might not know certain facts. There might not be a quick-fire answer. And therefore, if people feel insecure with what they're teaching, then they're not going to feel confident that they're teaching adequately. Namaste. Teaching a concept-driven curriculum, all the concepts can be understood, all concepts have a definition, and I think it's far easier to focus on the concept than it is perhaps on the knowledge. 1, 2, 3. We can't teach all religions, but because they understand the concept of devotion, I'm hoping and I'm confident that the children will now be able to consider, I wonder how a Christian shows devotion to Jesus. I wonder how a Muslim shows devotion to Allah. And by understanding a concept, they will then be able to transfer that understanding of that concept to another religion. Yeah, well done. They've also had an opportunity to communicate how devotion is important to them. Now, we're going to think a little bit about things in our life that we are devoted to. This is your certificate. I want you to sign it and date it, and then you can take this home. You need to tell me who you're devoted to and why. So I do need a because.
I'm devoted to my parrot Sky.
And why are you devoted to your parrot Sky?
Because every day when I come back from school, he always says hello to me and he's really cute. I am devoted to my dog.
And what's your dog called?
Nutmeg.
And why are you devoted to Nutmeg?
Because she's really soft and when you lie down she'll slobber your face. I'm devoted to my family.
Why is that?
Because they're always really nice to me and kind.
And what sort of things do you do then to show your devotion to them?
I sometimes help them, like doing the gardening and stuff.
Oh, that's nice. That's lovely. I'm sure Mummy and Daddy really appreciate it. Sometimes RE is sidelined. It might be the subject that's given to PPA cover or to the supply teacher. And I would really encourage colleagues to teach the RE. It provides a lot of scope for children of all abilities. If we provide opportunities where children know there isn't a right or wrong answer, they're going to be engaged and they're going to be able to talk and they're going to be able to share and they're going to be able to, more importantly, think. And these are really important skills that can be transferred through the curriculum and are valuable to lifelong learning. I think for one subject to be able to achieve all of that is pretty amazing.